Sounds good? Awesome. Cool. So let's get started right with the story of what exactly is DubsTech. So in 2015, there were 3 or 4 people per se who came together and said, we go to CSE 142 and 143 and all of these different programming classes and Info 200 and these design classes, and the teachers do teach us skills, but it somehow feels like the skills that we're learning are not enough for us to get a job. We need more skills and we want to do projects, and there's no tech community that really exists at the moment. So Arunab, David, and Humad and Zubair, who you see out here, came together and said, we're going to run these, after class workshops on campus. And they actually ran it pretty successfully with students coming on in during the weekends. And they built a few cool, projects, but we're primarily theory classes. Maybe your programming class was on discussing UX design. So we had a UX design class for programmers. Or maybe your CSE 142 class is only teaching you Java, but you weren't learning how to build an Android app. So there were Android workshops. But what happened right after that was something really unfortunate. Each of their founders, except for one, had to leave UW for different reasons. So there's only one founder that was left, which was Zubair, who you see right here. And he's like, we built up this organization. It was doing well. And now what? I'm left by myself. And he came up to me and he said, Josh, you were that one crazy guy who had suggested a few crazy ideas to us. Would you be interested, and leading something for us? And I said, sure, but I would like to do it a bit differently. Would you be comfortable? I said, you'll want to do projects, but what we've seen so far is we only did lectures. We're really telling people, more about a particular topic. We're not building any projects. So let's do an experiment where we say people come into a DubsTech event, and when they leave the DubsTech event, they must have a project left with them. So if you come into DubsTech event, you learn something and you leave with a project. That was the theory we had. And we said, we'll do a variety of different events. We'll do one for UX, we'll do one for Python for data science, and we'll do another one for web development, and we'll see if the idea works. And what we saw was that this experiment actually worked. And we said, okay, cool, it's working. Let's try it out a bit more. We began to host more events, which were more project oriented, where we're actually teaching skills which were not being taught inside of a lecture hall in many of your classes. And the idea was working more and more and more. So we would see more people coming in. And we actually had industry folks coming in and saying, hey, we want to participate in DubsTech as well. We had people from Google, Facebook, Amazon coming in and saying, hey, this is Microsoft as well, coming in and saying, hey, we want to be a part and we want to speak here. And we said, sure, come on in. And we said, okay, this is working. Let's do it more. And you can just see, like, this is the same room which you see out here. We had these chairs filled up. You can see right here, the idea was just working more and more and more. We saw the demand for people coming in and saying, we want to build projects that our teachers are not allowing us to build in the classroom because they don't have time. So DubsTech was basically formed to allow you to basically learn the tech skills from us, which you may not get a chance to learn in the lecture hall per se, so that you are ready for getting a maybe better job. Or, maybe you have that slight competitive advantage versus someone who has not come to our events when they're applying for jobs per se. And this has led to many milestones for us over the years. While we've not only been able to teach people so many different skills, we've also been able to achieve a few things along the way which were not related to just teaching. We're able to go ahead and start a dedicated series of talks known as Humans of Tech, which Manav is now leading, where we cover the lives of people in tech. So we'd have different people from the industry come on in and share their insights with students. So students understand, okay, this is what's expected in the industry. So all the misconceptions which were there, all the questions students had, they would be answered in Humans of Tech. Or for example, in one quarter, we said, we want to make as much impact as possible in the community. The community said, can you all do events for a variety of different topics? Yes, we can. We did 43 events in a quarter. And then in 2019, for the same work which we had been doing over the past since 2015 to 2019, we won the Husky Impact Award, and we're the only tech organization till date to have won this award. And if you go and take a look at the hub, you'll see our name is, on the plate out there. And since then as well, we've achieved a few more things, bigger feats, I would say. In 2020, we became an official part of the information school. So we are now an official RSO on campus recognized by a school as well. And then right after that, we hosted the world's largest UX hackathon. When you hear the word hackathon, you think about dub hacks maybe, but that's usually only for a programmer, right? A programmer goes in, they code something and they leave. But what about a poor UX designer who cannot code? What about a data scientist who only knows how to use Power BI or maybe Tableau. What do? They come to our UX hackathons, and we had over 400 participants come in, and we did this twice during the pandemic. It's a completely online hackathon for designers, and no code is involved. So these are the kinds of milestones we've had over the years, and that's primarily who we are as a club. And now we've returned back to campus with hybrid workshops. If you were here last quarter, you would have seen in autumn, we had this hybrid version of a data visualization certificate program where we had an in-person version. You can see not as many people come in anymore. But if you look online, we still have hundreds of people coming in. So that's who we are and what we do. We're in fact very proud to say 107 students completed a data visualization program in 2022 of like last quarter per se. And now we're here to make history in 2023 as well. So that's DubsTech. We teach, you tech. And if you wanted to see the TLDR, wanted to go into the nitty-gritty details, you could say we are an RSO that hosts workshops, hackathons, career panels, and talks. We really dedicated to developing and accentuating your technical skills and providing opportunities for you to undertake projects based on real-world problems, which you can then go ahead and use for your skill set and for your portfolios so that you can have a better future career per se. So that's basically who we are at DubsTech. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat, and I'm more than happy to start answering questions you may have about DubsTech before we dive into the DubsTech team. Any questions so far about the club? Okay, I don't see any, but if you all have any, you can feel free to drop it into the chat. So that's the story of DubsTech. And as I mentioned, we are now here in 2023 to make history, and we've come in with a new team. So I'd love to give everybody in the team a chance to introduce themselves. So we have Anna, who is our social media marketing director. She'll tell us a little bit about herself and her role and why she joined DubsTech, and everybody will just go in a circle. Anna, over to you.
Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a senior pursuing informatics degree, and I'm in HCI track. And I have been managing my own social media for a while, and I found DubsTech. And since the major that I'm pursuing is tech related, I also wanted to join a club, and I found DubsTech. So I really thought that it was a great opportunity to take care of their social media and grow the team even more. So yeah, here I am. I'm gonna pass to Hannah.
Hannah, unfortunately, cannot be here today because she's a family emergency, but I can fill in for her. No worries. I can say a little bit about Hannah. I'd feel bad if we didn't introduce her, though she's not here. Hannah, unfortunately, has a family emergency, but she's leading the team, and she's a community and corporate relations director. She's also a senior in informatics, and she got in touch with us where she wants to basically go ahead and bring in a lot more corporate companies to come on in and organize events. And one of them she's actually actively working with is Oracle. And I'll now hand it over to Manav, who will talk about his role as a Humans of Tech director.
Hi, I'm Manav. I'm a sophomore at Info. And well, I mean, last year when I came here as a freshman, there was nothing to get involved. So I found the DubsTech Discord, and then this year they posted that they're restarting. So I was like, sure, why not get involved? I mean, I'm sure some of you have had that feeling, but here I am. My role at DubsTech is basically I'm the Humans of Tech director. As Joshua gave the TLDR is just I'm going to be talking to industry professionals and all, and I'm going to be hosting career talks for you all. That's basically it.
Awesome. I'll hand it over to Vani.
Hey, I'm Vani. I'm a freshman at UW right now. I'm intending on going into computer science info or applied math. And I was just looking to get involved with the tech community at UW in some way or the other. And I found that DubsTech was one of the largest organizations on campus. And I do love working with social media, so I was really glad to be able to be a part of the social media team. I handle the Instagram for now. So yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. I don't think I need to introduce myself again, but yeah, in short, I teach data science and UX workshops for DubsTech. Been here since 2016, so I'm an ancient dinosaur out here. Even though I graduated, I was like, I can't stop teaching. I'll hand it over to Rohan.
Yep. Hi, my name is Rohan. I'm a freshman in finance and info right now. And yeah, same as Manav, I was looking to get involved in something related to tech. I wanted a community, a hub for tech. And so I found DubsTech and saw that they were hosting a data visualization workshop. And then through that got into contact with Zash, and I'm now part of the team. So, yeah.
Awesome. We have Ria. Ria, over to you.
Hi, I'm Ria. I'm a freshman currently pursuing computer science, and my role here is kind of the associate director of humans of tech, just like Manav. And my role is basically to network with professionals and organize and host tech panels, and reach out to judges for our upcoming datathon. And I think DubsTech is a great way to meet people at UW who are in tech. So yeah.
Awesome. And last but not the least, Dhruv is unfortunately not here, but you would have seen him in the workshops, always actively helping you out. He's our teaching director, so he's always assisting with the workshops and trying to organize more workshops for us. So that's the team. And now we'll start discussing our events. Primarily, we have 3 types of events which we run the tech community for the University of Washington. We have talks, workshops, and hackathons. And each one is done in a slightly different style. And I'd like to get started by talking about the workshops and to go into the hackathons and end with the talks per se. But when it comes to the workshops, what we try and do is we say, whenever someone comes into a workshop, we're trying to teach them a particular skill. And when they learn that skill, they should leave with a project as well. And if they complete, let's say, an X number of workshops, we even usually issue a certificate, like the certificate you see right here. And we usually run UX workshops in a variety of different UX tools like Figma, ProtoPie, Adobe XD, even Webflow. And we even talk about how to find a UX job. Like, let's say you're going ahead and applying for UX jobs. How do you go ahead and build a UX portfolio? What do you need to do to make a better UX portfolio? We go ahead and discuss how to make a really well-made UX resume. We go ahead and teach you how to improve the designs of your project. So if you made a project, in Info 200, the design didn't look that great. How do you make it better? Okay, we have those kinds of workshops. And usually we have approximately 3 to 4 UX workshops in a quarter. For this quarter, we're still trying to figure out a schedule for the UX workshops and the upcoming workshops that we'll be discussing, but it'll be announced pretty soon. In addition to that, we also have software engineering and cybersecurity workshops. So for all the nerds who are out here, and if you're taking an introductory CSE course, you'll know that it's only going to be covering data structures and algorithms. That's not the fun stuff. You can't go home and tell your mom, I made a for loop. No one is going to be interested in making a for loop. You go to a recruiter at a career fair, you're like, I know how to make the star pattern. No one's interested in that. People are interested in cool things, right? What are cool things which we teach out here? We teach people how to make games, okay? If you want to learn how to make Snake, the game you played on your mobile phone, if you played it as a kid, or maybe I'm a dinosaur, or maybe you played Flappy Bird, I think that's a little bit more relevant. If you play games like that, and you can show someone, hey, I can make that, but the other 600 students in CSE 142 or the 123 class don't know how to do that, but I know how to do it. I'm the person you need. Now, why do you get that skill? Come for our workshops. That's what we are teaching you how to do. Or you can learn how to build a mobile application. Or if you're interested in cybersecurity, you can learn from experts where we go ahead and teach you how do you go ahead and defend a vulnerable website. Like, here's a really shit website. Like many corporate websites are actually really terribly made. How are we going to attack the corporate website? And then instead, okay, this is how we're going to attack it. Now, how will we defend it? Teaching you how to think as if you're like not just a hacker, who is going ahead and ruining someone's life, but how to be an ethical hacker as well. So our coding events are always focused on building a project and projects that will make you stand out from the crowd. No for loops, no star patterns, actual things which you can go and show to your mom or to your dad or even to a recruiter and say, hey, this is what I built today, something you can use, something your friends will find cool as well. That's what the coding workshops usually talk about and focus on. In addition to that, we also have data science workshops. What we primarily realized with the data science workshops at UW was that UW has 40 plus data science courses, okay? That's amazing. You go to any other university inside of the United States of America, you're not going to find that. But each of these data science classes or lectures which are always taught don't really teach some of the day-to-day skills which are required. Like, if you go and apply to, let's say, Amazon or Microsoft, any of these companies, enterprise companies or consultancies, they need to know how to use Tableau really well, or they need to use Power BI really well. And these classes, even if they touch on it, they just go over it with maybe a feather. There's maybe one class on it or maybe 2 classes on it. Maybe they'll dive deep into Python and R, which is fantastic, but no one's really talking about, the actual GUI tools which you could also use. So a lot of our data science workshops tend to focus on tools such as Power BI, Tableau, Parse Hub, which is another one. And we also talk about other topics, which may be interesting for someone who is, let's say, in informatics or just starting to get interested in informatics, or let's say business, or, maybe you're interested in ACMS, but you know nothing about, let's say, deep learning, or you want to learn more about what unsupervised machine learning is. We have these introductory workshops as well. So that, if you don't have that skill at all and you just want to learn the basics, we have that for you. So you can see, okay, is this something I want to pursue a class for? So maybe, you're thinking, I've been interested in this topic called machine learning. It's a buzzword. Everyone keeps talking about it. Should I take a class on it next quarter, which is going to teach me Python and R? Maybe. Come for the workshop, take a look at it, see if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, you can actually take the entire lecture series. And if you are going to these lecture series and only learning Python and R, it's going to hurt you as well. So then come for a Power BI and Tableau workshops. And, we go ahead, and after each workshop, you come up with a variety of different projects which can help you, make a nice data visualization portfolio. So that's it with respect to our workshops. In addition to this, we host hackathons. And when it came to hosting hackathons at the University of Washington, we realized that, DubHacks does an amazing job at hosting an annual hackathon. And, I think maybe they have 500, 600 people coming in, based on the year. And we said, they're doing a great job. There's no need for another coding hackathon at UW, where we're just trying to fight and compete. There's no need for that. We instead wanted to see, what do people want instead? And we discovered that people actually wanted to learn more about how can they participate in a hackathon if they're a UX designer or a data scientist. And I'm like, there's no real way they can really participate. There's not enough time. But what if we give them a different platform completely to showcase their skill set? And that's what gave us the idea of running a protothon. And the protothon was focused on being a very easy, hackathon for anyone who's even getting introduced to design, where they don't have to code anything. You get a prompt, you understand the problem, you sketch out a solution, you use Figma, make a nice prototype, and you submit it and you win a prize. As simple as that. We said, no going ahead and coding out something. It should be as simple as you have an idea, you sketch it on paper, you design it, submit it. If it's good, the judges will give you a prize. And we had judges coming from a variety of different organizations, and we became the largest UX hackathon internationally. We had people coming from all the continents except for Antarctica, which I think is a huge achievement, considering the fact that, it was done, like it was the first iteration of the online one, and the second iteration still continued to prove that it was doing well. And we've done 9 protothons till date. So, the DubHacks hackathon happens once a year. We do a protothon almost every quarter, every 2 quarters. The only time we did not do it was last year, because we just did not have enough, team structure, and everybody was very fatigued by the pandemic. But otherwise, we're usually doing a protothon every 1 quarter, every 2 quarters. And we also went ahead and we have different themes for it. Earlier we had a theme which was more toyish, then we had a theme which is Valentine's Day-ish, and so on. Now, protothon is meant for designers. What about a data scientist? They go to a hackathon, they can't participate, right? So we have a dedicated data hackathon as well. And I'm super excited to mention that we're actually coming out with the 4th datathon actually this quarter. So this is a special announcement. We've not mentioned it anywhere else except in one email to some of our, past members, where we are hosting a 4th datathon. And this is going to be a dedicated data hackathon for you to showcase your skill set. And I'm actually going to show you the website itself. So I'm just going to leave this presentation, and you can actually take a look at this website right now. You can all go to it. It's live. I'll just put this in the chat for you all to take a look at. And it's primarily, a very simple hackathon. It's 2 days, February 18, February 19. You come on in and you basically understand the problem which you're going to give to you. It's going to be a data set that everybody will be familiar with, something they can work with. It's not brand new and they're very surprised they don't understand the data. It's going to be easy to understand data set, but you'll be given a nice problem with some nice critical questions. You find insights, you create a report, and then you submit and present to win prizes. And we've done this datathon, already 3 times. We've had judges coming in from Amazon as well as from Facebook, who are top tier, data scientists. So they really come in with some critical insights and feedback, and they give feedback to each team. So even if you don't win, there's still a lot of value, because most people go to hackathons and never get feedback. At a DubsTech event, you're always going to get feedback from the judges. And in addition to that, you can use whatever tool you want to use. You want to use Power BI, use Power BI. You want to use Tableau, use Excel, use SQL, use Python, use R. It's up to you. What we care about most is the insights you deliver and the report you make. So if you're interested in this, do sign up. And if you know nothing about data science or data visualization or data analytics, don't worry. We have workshops as well before the event, which we'll be announcing, which you can sign up for. And those will teach you some of the skills which you can then use at our event itself. Sometimes we've seen beginners who knew nothing about the field come in maybe a week or two before for our workshops, and then they end up winning. In fact, in Datathon number 3, we saw a girl who learned Tableau, like I think just 1 week before, she came first for one of our prompts. So definitely you can do it too, even if you know nothing, but if you're interested, attend our workshops, maybe you could win something and be first, who knows? So do sign up and register. We highly encourage you all to do so. And now I'm going to hand it over to Manav, who's going to talk about the Humans of Tech talks, which he's going to be organizing.
Hi, I hope you've basically understood the gist of the event, but I'm going to explain it again. What Humans of Tech talks are, basically, we're going to be getting industry professionals. Sometimes it'll just be one person. Sometimes it's going to be a panel of 4, 3, 4, 5 people. But the aim is basically you get to hear about the experience of these people. If you look at the slide right now, we've got people who've come in from Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Expedia, Adobe. You can see on your own. Like, it's, we're bringing in people, and we really hope that these talks help you in, maybe you're confused whether you want to go into data science or product management or, UX design, whatever. We hope that, maybe this will give you some clarity, maybe you can talk to these people. That's basically that's what we hope to come out with these events. And then, yeah, we also have a YouTube channel now. We've uploaded, so all the past talks that we've organized, they're all up there now, and you can check them out. You can check them out. I'm just going to send the link.
Yep. And we actually have 3 talks also coming up, Manav, which you want to talk.
Yeah, so we've got one planned for actually February 1st, as you can see. You can read about it on the slide. We really hope you register. We've also got another one coming the week after.
That's with me. Yep, and that's
so that's February 15th. And yeah, Josh was going to be talking about UX design. We have a third one, which is on February 10th, and that's about business analytics. You want to get into that? We hope you register for the event. We really hope you show up.
Awesome. And we also have a chat with Oracle coming soon. So Oracle is in active talks with us. What they want to do is they want to host quite a few workshops and talks with us. So they've been talking to us since November, and we've been actively planning in how we can integrate their schedule into ours. And you'll be hearing more about that very soon. So that's about the talks. We've spoken a lot. Now, what we'd love to do is, if you're not already, we would love for you to become a DubsTech member. And to do so, it's pretty simple, actually. We'll put the link in the chat out here for you. It's basically this eepearl.com. If you click on this link and go to it, all you need to do is you need to put in your name and your email address. So let's say I put in my name out here and my email address. You click on subscribe, click on I'm not a robot. You'll be subscribed to all event notifications. So if you want to learn about, let's say, when's the next hackathon coming up? How do I learn about the next event coming up? Maybe I want to learn about data science workshops, UX workshops. Subscribe to our newsletter. We don't send spam out. We're pretty respectful. We only talk about events. We're never like asking you to donate money or anything like that. We're always going ahead and saying, hey, here's an event coming up. If you're interested, please go ahead and sign up. And that's it. We're not going to send you spam ever. So, if you feel like, oh my God, they're going to send me a ton of crap, all those blog articles. No, that's not what we do. We just say, these are the events coming up. You want to sign up, sign up. You want to sign up. It's cool. And you always have the option to unsubscribe as well. So that's how you become a member. And becoming a member, also allows you to communicate with the community. So you can join our Discord as well. So we actually have a Discord channel, or not Discord channel, I mean a Discord server, which you can join. And we'll drop a link to that as well in the chat. Out here, what you can see is basically all of our events which are coming up. Like, we've announced a cracking the software engineering job search event, also cracking the business analytics job search event as well, which you can immediately see. So if you're like, hey, I don't check my mail too often, follow us on Discord. You don't use Discord, don't use email, follow us on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and search for DubsTech, you'll learn more about DubsTech by just visiting our events tab. I'll give this a second to load up. So you'll always learn about what's coming up from whichever social media platform you use, including Instagram as well. So if you have Instagram, you can follow us on Instagram. So let me go ahead and load up DubsTech. Instagram for y'all right here. So yep, So use whichever medium you feel most comfortable with. We'll always be putting out event announcements on all of them. So that's basically how you can become a member. We'll give you a minute or two to sign up. And if you have any questions in the meanwhile, which you have for us, please do ask us, because we'll be doing a Q&A session right after that, where we'll be answering all of the questions you have. We've already received a few via the Google form, but if you've got questions after hearing us, please feel free to go ahead and ask us the questions right now, and we'll be happy to answer them. Asad has asked us a question. Do you have a website? Asad, we used to have a website. It's right now down. We're going to be launching a new one. So it takes us time. So if you would like to help us with building the website, you can get in touch with us, and we'll be talking more about how to get in touch with us if you're interested in such opportunities. But we don't have a website at the moment. Okay. Awesome. Is the DubsTech hackathon on 12th or 18th of February? Today, the hackathon is on 18th of February. Originally, it was planned to be on the 12th of Feb. You may have got an email originally, which we had sent out to a select few people saying that's on the 12th of February. Unfortunately, what we realized was I think the Super Bowl is on the 12th of February, which is why we had to say, unfortunately, we can't do it, because people said, hey, we can't come on, and the judges said no. So he said, we'll do 18th of Feb instead. And that event, like, that information should reflect the same all over as well. So when we put out the announcement today, right after the event, you'll be like, right after today's session, you'll see the hackathon post coming out, and you'll see all the social media, posts going out about it. Kevin, are talks with Oracle about talks only, or are there any opportunities to do VR development workshops? Kevin, our talks with Oracle, like, what we've been discussing with Oracle is not just having someone coming in and talking about stuff, but they also want to do workshops. They have not specified what their workshops will be about so far. Okay. Oscar said, is there any technical workshops before the datathon? Oscar, yes, we will be hosting workshops. Same, like, we'll be sending announcements. So if you go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter, you'll get to know about all the workshops coming up. And Nick said, is there a list of what workshops and events are happening? Nick, you can see that on Discord. So if you go to our Discord and you go to the events channel, you'll immediately you can see all the upcoming events always out here. And you can also like us on Facebook and see our events out there. So I think Facebook and Discord are the best places to see our events always. So like on Facebook out here, you can just see what's coming up right now. Anthony said, we'll all be sending out certificates this quarter as well if we've attended all the workshops. Anthony, most likely this quarter, we are doing one-off workshops. So we may not be issuing certificates. We'll take a call, as we come closer to announcing the workshops. But right now, it doesn't look like it. It'll be one-off workshops. It won't make sense to do so, unless it's a very long one. Ayush, do you have a Discord server? Yes, we do. Rohan, can you put a link in the chat? Thanks. Okay. What are the other questions for us? Okay, I don't see any out here. I'll answer a few which came to us, Oh, yeah, we got one more. How many workshops will there be this quarter? I would say, Anthony, expect to see a maximum of 6 workshops. Do not expect to see more than that. Okay. And I would say that they're all going to be on Thursdays always. Kevin, is it common to put workshop attendance on a resume? Kevin, I would say don't put the fact that you attended the workshop. You can list out your projects and list out the fact that you got a certificate from us. That's more important. So, in your education section, you definitely want to mention that you got a certificate from us for data visualization or for Webflow. I'm not sure which certificate you got from us, but mention the certificate and the skill set added to the skill section and add your projects in. Aileen mentioned, will there be any fees? No, all events for DubsTech are free and open for all, okay? We never charge any money. At least I've never, I don't think we take money from people ever. You go check our bank account, it's going to be like 0. The only money we get is from a sponsor, that's it. And then we'll immediately use it for food at our events. Will most or all of the events be in person? What specific topics will be covered? So Anthony, the events which we'll be hosting this quarter so far that we'll only be having on UX and data visualization. We unfortunately do not have a software engineering instructor or a cybersecurity instructor on us, but we're actively searching for one, and we'll be discussing that very soon. So expect to see workshops on maybe Power Sub, which will be on web scraping. You can see you'll have a workshop on data cleaning, with Tableau Prep, we'll have another one on going ahead and using Tableau to build another project which we maybe not done so far. That's what you can expect. And then of course on Webflow as well, we have a workshop coming up. Awesome. So are these workshops going to be in person or online? These workshops, I think we're going to be doing them in person in Allen Auditorium, but there'll always be a hybrid version. So we are going with the hybrid approach. So if you go ahead and take a look at what we did last quarter, we basically said you can come on into the Allen Auditorium, which is in the Suzhou Library. And if you don't want to come in and maybe you have to travel, you're coming in from far, just join us on Zoom. We completely chill either way. As long as you learn the skill and you show us your ability to actually execute on that skill, we are comfortable. Okay, cool. So here's some other questions we also received out here, which was like, how do I become a DubsTech instructor? We are actively looking for instructors. Okay, so if you want to become an instructor, you can apply to be one using the link which we have right here. It'll also be shared in the chat. It's basically, a form, you fill it out, tell us what you're interested in, tell us what your idea is. Usually when you're looking for an instructor, we want to see what kind of project you want to build. Sorry about that. In the past, if you're interested in becoming a software engineering instructor for us, we've had instructors teach people how to make games, because that's really something cool which you can show to a recruiter and what we've seen recruiters like as well. If you know how to make apps and you want to teach people how to make apps or websites, that also works. How do I make a strong LinkedIn and resume? That's a very common question. So I asked Manav to put all these Q&A things together. He's like, people want a lot of job search advice in this like tech meetup. So I said, you know what? I'll answer the question in short, and then I'll give you a long answer as well. So we are hosting, this is a short answer. We're hosting a job search session, where we'll be discussing how to build a strong LinkedIn resume. So we have a talk dedicated on how to crack the software engineering job search, how to crack the UX and product design job search, and how to crack the business analytics job search as well. But if you really want to learn how to build a good LinkedIn, a good resume, what you can immediately go ahead and do is take a look at my LinkedIn profile and my resume. I don't mean to boast out here. I literally do this for a living, where I help people with making better LinkedIns and making better resumes. So you can take a look at my own LinkedIn profile, search for Joshua Kola, take a look at my LinkedIn, and what you'll immediately notice is quite a few best practices. You'll see how I've included my projects. You'll see how I talk about my work. You'll see what skills I include, how I formatted my resume. That should be a good starting point for you. Okay. Do I need coding experience to be a part of DubsTech? Hell no. Okay. I don't code on a daily basis, and I've taught at least most of the workshops out here till date. Maybe I could say 60%. So I've taught 0 coding workshops at DubsTech till date. Okay. Majority of our workshops require no coding experience. We use no code tools many of the times. We use tools like Webflow, Figma, Power BI, Tableau, PowerSub, Tableau Prep. Even when we've taught like some tools such as Azure, like we've again used drag and drop tools. So it's easy for anyone to understand. We're focusing more on critical high-level concepts. But if you are interested in coding, we do have dedicated software engineering workshops for that. So those require you to have basic knowledge of coding, where you need to know a little bit about, how to write if else statements, how to write loops. You need to have understanding of like what a while loop is versus what a for loop is. You need to understand what different data structures are, such as dictionaries and like, arrays and so on. And there was another question which we got: what skills do I need to become a data analyst? Manav said this was asked pretty often, so I thought I'll answer it. So to become a data analyst, theoretical, you need to know how to clean data. You need to know how to wrangle data. You need to know how to explore data. You need to know how to visualize it, and you need to know how to make a report as well. You need to know how to build a data pipeline. All of these theoretical skills can be taught to you in the class Info 201. It covers all of it. Just take it. Okay, close your eyes and just say, I'm going to take it. I'm going to learn these skills. Okay. In addition to that, technical skills, you can learn Python, or you can learn R. And within these, programming languages, you need to learn a few packages. So if it's Python, you need to learn how to use pandas, matplotlib, and numpy to get started at least. And then for R, it's dplyr, tidyr, plotly, and ggplot. So these are the basic fundamental packages or libraries you want to work with. And if you don't want to take Info 201, there's a website known as datacamp.com. They teach workshops just like DubsTech, but they are going to be a lot more in depth because they have a lot more time. And they'll also give you an extremely strong understanding of these skills. And these are like, pre-recorded classes, which you can do. But the great thing is like you code and it tells you if your answer is right or wrong. So if you ever use something like Code Academy, it's like that. It's pretty cool. It's just for data science. So if you don't want to take Info 201, take a look at datacamp.com instead. So yep, that's it from us. Enough chit chat from us for today. What we want to do is now we want to make you all talk, and we're going to do a pretty fun icebreaker game, in fact. So we've spent a lot of time trying to think about what the best game to do is. And this is the best game we came up with for now, which is that we want to send you all into breakout rooms where you'll be in teams of 4 to 5 people. You all can go ahead and introduce yourselves. Okay. Talk about your major, your class standing. You can tell each other what your last song was played on Spotify. And then go ahead and tell each other what's the weirdest thing you've experienced at UW so far. So if there are 4 people in the room, each one of you will introduce yourselves, okay? Say your major, say what last song you played on Spotify, and what's the weirdest thing you've experienced so far at UW. And then what you need to do together as a team is you need to decide, okay, what are the 2 weird things that you all found which are actually true, and then make one lie up, and you need to come back to us. Basically, you're going to go into the breakout room for 10 minutes. Okay, you share one crazy story, right? What's going to happen is everyone's done sharing, choose 2 of those stories, and come up with a 3rd crazy story, okay? And that crazy story needs to be a lie. You come back to us in the main room, and you share these with everybody in the room, and we're all going to try and guess what's the lie and what's the truth. So maybe you'll have 2 crazy stories from UW which are true, and 1 crazy story which isn't. So you're just going to do that in the form of a group, and we'll go ahead and keep shifting around the breakout rooms. So you'll see different DubsTech members joining different breakout rooms. So you can ask us questions as well, and we'll give you all 10 minutes. Sounds good? Yes or no? Awesome.